pretend that I'm better off than I am at all points in time, both physically and mentally. But I'm not capable of doing that all the time. It's called masking, and it is horrible. And to be victimized by people who don't want to even try to understand what this is like, but they want to tell me they understand. No, they don't. None of them know what this is like. Although I don't smoke pot very often, it sucked so bad last night I even was willing to try that. Did not work. It's been quite a few hours since then. But God, I just feel like shit. And no, it's not the pot that makes me feel like shit. It's not getting to see my friends or loved ones, not getting to have any actual meaningful conversations. Like, my life just fucking sucks. Natalie wasn't the situation that everybody threw me away over. No, that happened a whole year before Natalie was killed. Sorry, that happened over a year before I went to Virginia. I hurt my back in October of 2018. It was already fucked up at the beginning of October, but when I had to move that 800-pound gun lathe out of the fucking storage unit, I fucked up my back. There wasn't anything that I could do. One of the things with doctors is that either you have a family doctor that you've got for long term. I never had that. I never had any insurance. Every time I got fucking hurt, the doctor's like, all right, well, that'll be fucking $600 or $800 or more. We can't do anything for you. Head out the door. Like, what the fuck? That's just ungodly fucking expensive for throwing me out the door. I'm sorry, you broke your toe. What are we gonna do? Nothing. We can't do anything. We used to tape them. We're not allowed to tape them anymore because it cuts off the circulation. All we can say is, okay, you got a broken toe. The last doctor I saw about a broken toe, I only went to the doctor about a broken toe because of people who were insisting on me going to the doctor. So I went to the doctor. He said, you know what? I'm not going to bill you for this. It's a broken toe. What do you want me to do about it? I could give you some Advil or some Tylenol. You know, I can give you a over-the-counter pain reliever is about it. I can give you 2 of them. Okay, doc. Well, That's not going to work for me. I came here because I was pestered into coming here. I need to get a piece of paper that says that I was here. He told me that he wasn't going to charge me for coming in with a broken toe because all he could do was tell me that my toe was broken, which I already knew. He did not take an x-ray. He said it's broken. It's definitely broken. He definitely felt it to see if it was broken. Anyway, I talked to my YouTube channel. I didn't have any friends or family that cared to listen to understand. Most of them were too busy telling me that I need to understand. No, I know all the details that they don't want to look at. There's a lot of people who are involved in the situation. They didn't understand why the situation was fucked up. And even though I explained about the situation with Natalie to quite a few of my friends to the best of their ability to listen, that's not very far. Pretty soon people start giving advice or talking about themselves, and they try to make it a conversation about them. And I've noticed that women are more prone to doing this than men, but that doesn't mean that men don't do it. A lot of the people who offer to help me, they need help. Meanwhile, like one of these ladies, right? She's got this guy who's apparently some super hot shit in his own head. He's been all over the country fighting these peoples and those peoples. And yeah, I get it. But he's talking some fucking crazy shit. Meanwhile, this lady got her kids back, or is fighting to get her kids back, and she fucking thinks that the Illuminati had something to do with her birth. I'm like, holy shit, these are people with delusions. You know the difference between somebody who's delusional and somebody like me is? Whether or not you've got proof. People have proof that I eventually reacted in a very not nice way after I'd been dealing with people treating me in that not nice way for over a year. I told on the bad guys and they didn't fucking like it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O. Alright. 5:54. I hope they're up in here. They don't look open. No, they don't look open yet. So I'm just wasting gas. I feel super smart. I can't hardly see out any of my windows because they're all fogged up. I thought they were open at 6. I guess it's probably 7. Watch videos because I don't want to get all my evidence all buried in excess videos, which it does end up being because I don't have any friends to talk to. I don't have anyone to go do anything with. It sucks not being able to work a lot. It also sucks taking as much abuse as I've taken. People always take my kindness for weakness or stupidity. Treat me like I'm stupid for being kind to people. Like, fuck you, I'm kind to you, asshole. One of my friends once described me as a cross between Eeyore and Einstein. Her name was Veronica. Well, I knew her as Missy Bruce, but her real name is Veronica, and she got married, so her last name is Seward now, so it's Veronica Seward. She described me as a cross between Einstein and Eeyore. I've had some people give me some pretty odd descriptives. Chance Dale used to call me Idiot Savant. Hey, Idiot Savant. Hey, Idiot Savant. It's not Idiot Savant. I grew up in the fucking system. He grew up out with all y'alls. So you guys got to learn different stuff than I do. That's why there's a lot of things that I know inside and out that you guys are completely clueless about. First-hand experience trumps all your bullshit. Oh, fucking freezing. Oh, I got my little camp fuel thing here. I guess I can use it to warm up for a few minutes. At least until the store over there opens. Oh yeah, I gotta heat it up before it'll open up. Alright. Fuck. I have hardly any hand strength. It shouldn't take that much to get one of these things open. Alright, much more better. If I give it a few minutes, it'll defog my windows, and that's kind of pretty importantly needed. One of the issues that I had last night was just way too goddamn much back pain. Like, I don't know what I did that was so messed up. I even tried to take it easy when I had to take stuff up the stairs to storage. Anyway, there's some parks that are open starting at 6 a.m. so I can go to one of them. I don't really feel comfortable driving, but I got to. I am going to make sure that I have my camera plugged in and recording. Hopefully I don't end up sleeping all day, because I do have stuff I need to do. You know, the amount of money that it takes to incarcerate just one homeless person for a year. You get 6 homeless people off the streets. Or you get several hundred body cameras for police officers. They have some really nice cameras for about $20 a piece. And it costs over $100,000 to imprison a homeless person for a year. So when you consider that, and the fact that law enforcement ends up getting the crappiest piece of shit that's out there on the market, why do they do that? Why buy state-of-the-art crap? Just so you know, those drones that you could get at, well, Walmart, Fred Meyer's, pretty much most places nowadays that have electronics. You go to those little drones that have the cameras on them, and even if they only have enough camera for a few minutes, that still helps in search and rescue. Even if it's just 5 or 10 minutes up in the sky, and some of them have up to 30 minutes of playtime, which is pretty amazing. Oh my God. Another problem I have is that I miss everybody too much. You know, when I was no longer able to take care of myself, there was one person who understood that. Just one, that was Natalie. She was the only one who tried to understand that there are certain things that I'm not able to do for myself. Like, as far as protecting myself from law enforcement and the like, not without a friend or family member who cares. A lot of people threw me away without trying to find out what was going on. And a lot of people looked the other way but still wanted to call me friend. Like, no, you're not a friend. You had your chance to be a friend. You showed that you're not. Alright, I gotta get out for just a second because I gotta wipe off my ear here. When it comes to trying to get help as someone who's called mentally ill, especially if you're male and especially if you're homeless, You have to have a friend or family member who cares about you, or nobody's going to do a goddamn thing. They will just let it happen. Law enforcement will look the other way and try to insinuate to you that you must ask for it somehow. Somehow it's always your fault when somebody chooses someone easy to victimize, someone to victimize. I mean, it amazes me how they got all these statistics that show how likely people, specifically just like me, are to be harmed. And then they ignore their statistics, and they ignore facts, and they ignore evidence, and they just listen to somebody with a badge because they have a badge. Why didn't those badges investigate? Why was I sent to police officers who didn't do their jobs and committed felonies against me to try to turn in other officers, their fellow co-workers? Like, yeah, that's not going to work out well. When I got to try to turn in Sheriff Scott Costa of Dual County, Nebraska, he's got a bunch of deputies at his disposal. He's got most of the town at his disposal, for that matter. It's pretty intimidating to have one of those officers come to your house in a small town. Having the cops at your house is not generally considered a good thing. You guys get to see how the paparazzi throws out all sorts of stuff when famous people have a police officer at their house. And oftentimes they end up being wrong, sometimes they're right. But that's a paparazzi. You would not expect that out of mainstream news, would you? Well, yeah, because you guys are easily distracted by the rich and famous. You wish you could be. We got a whole counterculture here in America with people who don't want to be pretty. Who don't want to be a part of your, how do I say without being rude, breeding. Just not interested. Alright, they're open now. Woohoo. One guy explained it to me as society gives you 3 strikes. Unfortunately, you were born with 3 strikes. My first strike being born a man. My second strike being poor. My third strike not being attractive. Oh well. Except society only gives you 3 strikes. I was born with my genetics. I was born with some of my disabilities. And I was definitely born with a penis. I've seen it. Needed a microphone to try to communicate with my brain down there. Yeah, it's not a funny joke, but lots of people like to say that. Oh, men only think with their... No. Men who are sex-oriented only think about sex. How do you end up with the guys who are only sex-oriented? Well, you brainwash all of us into thinking that if we try to have sex with you, we're horrible people. And then you get all fucking horny and you do stupid shit like go to the bar and hang out with a bunch of people who are trying to get laid. You get laid and you're like, oh, I got a new boyfriend. No, fuck. That ain't too bright. And then you wonder why you got the bottom of the barrel. Well, there's a reason you got the bottom of the barrel. You got desperate. It's okay to be alone, but not when you're abused so frequently and often. When you're forced into homelessness, yeah, people do choose you as their go-to victim, even other homeless people. There's no unity there. There's some people who try that, but they end up being, well, caregiver for a bunch of people, a bunch of addicts usually. When I was passing out blankets, was I passing them out to addicts? Yes, I was. I didn't want them freezing to death. It makes that bad for all of us, and just that much worse every time it happens. Addicts are more likely to die on the streets, alcoholics especially. A lot of the people who do meth in Boulder, Colorado, they start doing it during the winter when they become homeless because they can walk. And that keeps them moving and keeps them from freezing to death like the alcoholics do. Good morning. I got literally zero sleep last night. Yeah. Oh, heck, cold.
I can't wait for the weather to start warming up.
Yeah, the winter didn't show up until real late. Summer's kind of slow in getting here.
Slow getting here. Years old. It's a big chunk of your life. It's like a third of your goes on to like 7th of your life. Before you're like 50, a year, a full year is only 1/50 of your life. So it's improvement. So yeah, so it's only different. So try to see those numbers like that.
People are stupid. Plan accordingly.
That's good advice. I'm gonna use that advice.
Either that or no peace above being fooled. Hey, how much is your El Cheapo, the little big switch rate? All right, I got enough for one of them and a coffee, so I want one. Or, it's my bar of chocolate. Give it to me now. All right, I'm headed. You're welcome for whatever you say, oh my God, my looks aren't good enough. All right. I brought actual money. All right, so here's a 5. Here's 19 cents. Voila, I can see here. Now I'm gonna go find a park, and then I'm gonna get out and lay on the ground and try taking a nap all day long.
It's not 7 o'clock yet.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I'll let it go now.
You're not open yet?
Oh, I totally spaced. God damn, people coming in at 6 a.m. No, I just so weird this way. It's so weird. It's like, 7 a.m. I'm gonna find here 6 a.m. going really late.
That's true. I am totally rich today.
Oh shit.
I'm gonna go buy myself a mansion and a yacht. Yep, I am Albert J. Fudd. Some days, if I have $1 in my pocket, I feel rich. Because the day before I didn't.
I get paid. On credit card.
Friggin' bills. Should have grabbed these for me.
You're fine.
Oh, you're gonna do that stuff. You know, it's stuff,
He's arrogant.
Huh?
Rather arrogant.
Who?
That's so cute.
About what?
He thinks it was a big deal to someone else on the stuff.
Well, it's no big deal, but I know LCC that,
You guys were talking about our secret shopper.
that could be a hell of a fine if you license yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, it might not be a big deal.
Well, I think I've gotten caught before.
Huh?
I got caught before selling to an undercover person at Jiffy Market. They lost their license for 30 days. He's like, they mailed me, put a sign up on the door to play with me for it. It was true, but, you know, they would always been up for Jiffy.
Not only that, lose the license, they would get a hell of a fine too.
Yeah. So can a private person turn someone in when they do that, or does it have to be like, okay, suppose I was, not that I'm gonna, but I mean, suppose someone like me thought it was wrong and turned me in. Would that go over? Would they check that then? Not that I'm gonna, but I'm just,
Turn him in?
yeah.
Oh,
I don't think they care unless there's a minor involved. They're not going to give two turds about none of it.
he didn't know.
Yeah,
You're the one. You turn it in, he's gonna get in trouble.
yeah, yeah, I'm not saying I would, I'm just saying if you know, cause they would have to look for it, and, I don't know, I just don't take that stuff lightly.
No,
Not when I got popped, and I gotta find out how to do my classes again, and that's when I got in trouble with drugs.
They seem kind of pissed off anytime they have to arrest somebody these days.
They don't arrest nobody for nothing. My granddaughters run away, there's 14 and 16-year-olds, they're hanging out with 18-year-olds and 20-year-olds and have, you know, all sorts of stuff. Cops don't care. Juvenile didn't care. I said, they're right across the street, it's a transportation center. So, who cares? I got these here yesterday.
Well, if you know the names of the adults that they're doing that with,
One was it, but he works at Safeway, or he did, Elijah or something. And they were hanging out here in town, Green and Aurora. They sent a video once, they rented his car one night. And he had to do with Elijah or something. He's like 18, 20 yard, he has charges against him for non-enforceable rape. You know, even juvenile order officers, not even on a curfew or nothing anymore, they got charged for running away. She got kicked out of the, I think juvenile jail. She ran away twice.
I got kicked out of church and a mental hospital, both in the same week in Nebraska.
Wow.
I couldn't sit down because of my back pain, and my art teacher from high school went to the same church, and he thought that I was mean mugging everybody and I was angry and hateful. No, I'm just in a lot of pain.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then when
you're
they,
in pain, your facial expressions get different.
yeah,
I had the same issue because I couldn't see far away, so I would squint all the time. People thought I was mean mugging them too.
oh my God, you're one of those meatheads who stares at me when I cross the parking lot. There's people who do that.
Oh, I know.
They stare at me. It's almost like they're trying to break their neck staring at me, and I just want to put on a big pink fluffy outfit and say, "Do you need a hug?"
Well, I was staring at your car yesterday just because I knew my granddaughter's going to be in the car, just because I looked at every car.
You know, every
You've been around
night.
for a while, though.
Every night they come down and they make a big old mess down there in the parking lot. They don't make too big of a mess because they usually pick up what they can see, but it's nighttime. They don't see everything.
Yeah.
Whenever I hear a scream or a shout, because I've got on my YouTube channel, whenever something like that's happening, the first thing I do is turn on the camera so that I can
You have a YouTube
point it.
channel?
I do.
That's all I watch is YouTube. I watch all the
Oh, my
conspiracy
God.
stuff, all that awesome shit.
You
I
should
love
look
it.
up the name Natalie Bollinger.
Let me write it down. Let me get my phone. I don't remember. Actually, I can do it right here. I started now. If I figure out my thoughts and easy, it's called City Hub. Never met a tweaker like me. Because that'll get people to look that I'm a smart person and I don't. I have in the past and I've been in prison for it, but don't get people by.
There's a lady right now who's doing really good for herself. She was in prison and she speaks about how horrible the prison system is.
Yeah, I think the prison system's a joke because it's nothing. It's just like a college campus where you can't leave. You can get your eyebrows done, you can get your hair done, you can buy
They have
cappuccino.
And you can learn how to get away with a whole lot of crimes that you didn't walk in there knowing about.
Yeah,
That's what
I
heard.
couldn't believe it.
Cowboy.
Tablets, like a phone, like a tablet.
Only if you have money on your books.
You can go online.
And they don't give that stuff to just
There's no
anybody.
punishment.
You okay for
I'd
it?
rather do 6
Yeah.
months hard labor.
Now,
like,
depending-
drop out
That's
in
what
here,
it is. There's
than-
tablets.
than 18 months.
They do. And you can get internet time on them and everything.
I think it's just dumb now. Okay, what was his name? Natalie?
Natalie.
Nhelie.
Natalie. Bollinger.
Okay, you're going too fast for me. Now I'm going to start over.
Sorry.
Or here, you want to punch it in for me?
Sure.
That'd be easier.
They tried to make me out to be some sort of a horrible monster because I'm autistic. I'm like, that ain't
Oh my
the case.
word, this is you.
Yeah.
Oh my word. This is you. This is you. Yeah.
Looks like me, doesn't it?
Yeah, it is you. Is it you?
It is me. They tried pegging me as a stalker and all sorts of creepy stuff. I told on a bunch of tweakers in Colorado that were making my life hell.
Wow.
Apparently, you're not allowed to do that.
No.
And even though the situation shows that they were the ones who were on drugs, they just ran around calling me a druggie.
It's
It's called gaslighting, and nobody cares. When you're a homeless male, it doesn't make any difference.
and it's usually the way, like, I've been arrested for methods before. Nobody pays attention to me, even though I have a job and all that stuff. And yeah, they hear me. Like, I got pepper sprayed in the face by someone who was squatting on my property, and I had a senior disability restraining order on him. And he was only supposed to be there 20 minutes to get shit. They told me to go in the house and they let him ransack everything. And then I got raped by a guy, and me and another girl turned him in. Nothing happened.
See, that's the thing that I'm dealing with. I'm supposed to have an advocate because I'm disabled. I'm autistic, but I also have back injuries, leg injuries, and wrist injuries because of the Boulder Police Department.
Yeah.
When Natalie got killed, they had to try to peg somebody for it, and I was an easy target. But it also turned out that they were wrong, so they had to release me, and so they just continually press false charges on me every time I try to turn in the predators that threaten to kill me. I mean, you look her
Yeah,
name
they
up,
won't do
you
that
can
to
see
you.
me right away. There, some of those have 6 million views. There's over 100 of them. The last one that was made was 4 days ago, and it was made in Portuguese.
Wow.
You can also find Natalie's story in Taiwanese. You can get it in the native language of the Philippines, and I don't know what that is at the moment. There's a guy in Samoa who does it. There's a woman in the Tongan Island that does it. They have it in French. They have it in German. They have it. It's worldwide. And I'm living in my car in Tillamook, Oregon, listening to kids screaming at each other at night. As long as they're not choking each other or beating on each other, I'm fine with it. But every time I hear a scream or a baby cry, I react.
Yeah, it's a flag for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, like visceral reaction.
I grew up in the system. There are sounds that you are taught that you're supposed to protect. That's a woman, you protect that.
Not anymore.
That's a child, you protect that. We're not allowed to.
No, not anymore. And then you do protect yourself. You hear the guy in New York, the Marine or
I
whatever.
helped Natalie. She was strung out on drugs. She had a drug-induced psychosis. She also didn't want to tell on her dealers.
Yeah.
I'm still dealing with the consequences of it years later, but go ahead.
Anyway, yeah, there was a guy. There was a man on the subway, and he was threatening people, and he had like 70 arrests in the last 10 years. So I don't know if it was a Marine or armed guy. They subdued him, and he had him in a chokehold, and the guy died.
Yeah.
Guess who's gonna go to jail? The guy that subdued him.
Well, I would
He's
hope
just
so.
protecting all the rest of the people on the subway, and they're, it's ridiculous. He was
But
like, it was
the
self-defense.
camera that I saw, it's only a short clip, but it doesn't show the guy harming anybody. He's an entertainer. He does the
guy that got
Michael.
killed.
Yeah, he does the
Yeah, but
Michael
he still
Jackson
had
thing.
an arrest record, and
I've got a huge arrest
So do
record.
I.
She was killed in 2017, and that's when my arrest record started.
I don't see all those people on the subway. I don't know. I just don't. I think each case needs to be taken on its own merits, and then there's just the other people that defend their own
Absolutely.
property, and then they get in trouble. They get charged. Like the guy in Arizona, I think, who was defending his ranch with his
We've
wife.
got people here in Oregon that are going to jail because of, homeless tweakers that are breaking into their stuff, or
Yeah.
tweakers that are breaking in to get something they can sell.
Yeah,
But it's not all tweakers, and it's not always the homeless. And then there's somebody like me who's not a tweaker. I'm just homeless, and I don't get treated like I'm any different from those guys. Meanwhile, 80% of us are out here because we were victimized into homelessness.
yeah,
And then we've got the additional 20% that are your child molesters, your rapists, anybody who people don't want back in the workforce and don't want back in their households. We're stuck with literally the worst of the worst predators on the streets as people who were the easiest people to victimize, and they know it.
yeah.
So who's going to listen to us when our friends disappear?
Nobody seems to care about anything anymore. It's all backwards and upside down.
That's why I got a YouTube channel.
Alright, so there's two things I'm scared of. One of them is just right now today. Because, alright, it's Sunday, people go to church, and then they get out of church and they go play with the kids. And if I go to the park over here, even though it's not really one of the kid type of parks, and I go lay down, everything's wet, so I gotta roll myself in a tarp. And the last time I did that in this town, somebody thought I was a body that was dumb, and they sent the cops to talk to me. Yeah, so, I mean, so I'm scared to go to sleep right now.
I had a buddy years ago, he passed out, he passed out in the ditch right in front of his house. Like, people come the next morning, they thought he was a dead body in the ditch. The cops showed up, all of that. Thought there was an ambulance, everybody thought it was a dead body, and they were there to him, wake him up. It's just like, really scary.
Well, I'm glad they just sent one person out there to see if I was dead or not. No, I'm not dead. I had just like, I do apologize for having that necessity.
Yeah, right. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, the other thing I'm afraid of is, alright, so if I acknowledge a woman actually exists within my environment, like, alright, you know how when you see something move, your natural reaction is to look to wherever the movement is.
Right.
If I look over where the movement is and I notice that it's a guy, no big. But if I look over to where the movement is and I notice that it's a woman, I'm like, oh my God, I hope she doesn't think I was staring at her.
Yeah, exactly. And it's an issue out of nowhere.
Yes, and you know what, as a homeless man who's not good looking, I'm obviously not rich, I'm obviously not tall. My shoes aren't size 13. Yeah, you know, I'm the first person the Karens are gonna go after. They don't go after the managers until they feel real ballsy.
Right, exactly. Good that you talked.
That's right, after they've cut their teeth on, you know, 5 or 6 hobos.
Right.
That's when they feel comfortable coming in and talking down to the lowly man on the totem pole, even if he is on a pedestal like you are.
Right.
Sorry, sir, I talked too much.
Oh, you're good.
The Springer this morning?
Me? No.
No. 470. What's that fish tank on?
Oh, no, these are tree planting plants.
Oh, okay. Then I'm not jealous.
You know what's nicer down here than up in Washington State?
Yeah.
With y'all making the drugs legal down here, up there you've got needles behind every single store all over the
All
place.
right, thank you.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm afraid to pick anything up like that anymore because all the fentanyl and all that shit.
Yeah. How do you get ants? The same way you get uncles.
Sugar out. You can find my name tag, it's probably in the box somewhere. You can use it for
Your name's not Chevron?
I know. You and I have to throw some money out there. I have a label maker.
Oh, one of them old fashioned ones from like late 80s, early
You know,
90s?
I like where you turn the dial on the
Yeah.
Yeah, and now I got one of these fancy ones. If you wait for you.
Like one of the little ticker tape ones. Alright, I think I'm gonna go drive around until I find a place to sleep. Wish me luck. I absolutely will pretend to. You as well. Thank you. Alright, I'm still capable of driving. Only just barely. There's a boat launch just a couple of blocks from the Safeway. Well, it's like 3 blocks from the Safeway. But they're small town blocks. It's not like the city blocks in Denver. Alright, someone type things on your FYP, type hello, and then type question mark, and then typed what in the goofy hell? Well, I don't know, dude. I try to read all the messages. If it's somebody who ends up being a troll, I usually remove them after taking a screenshot. God, I am fucking cold. I couldn't figure out where my other blanket was buried under all that shit in the bag, so I only had one blanket last night. My fingers were not happy with it. There's a lot of people who've been nice to me, and there's a lot of people who have tried to allow me space to do my own thing, but there's a lot of things I'm not able to do for myself, and rather than understanding that, they want to tell me, well, I can't do this and I can't do that. Well, you can understand that I'm not capable. So you do have something you can speak up about. This country fucking sucks. Especially if you're broke.
certain stuff that'll really fuck you severely that a lot of people just never had to go through. Like for me, being homeless at 18, I started off with a blank area where it doesn't get to say where it is that I was staying or living. I was homeless as soon as I turned 18. And the longer that goes on, the more screwed you are. Without any sort of credit and without a job that pays you enough to actually fucking live on, life sucks. I was living on my own, close enough to on my own. I was going to high school, trying to finish high school while homeless in Chapel, Nebraska. That was not a fun situation. It doesn't matter what kind of adversity I faced, I still faced it. You don't have much choice when it's up in your face. If I give people a tiny taste of what I've been going through for the last 6 years, they flip their fucking wigs. They don't fucking like it. They think it's fucking okay when it happens to me. Except I don't do any of the horrible shit to them. I just tell them off because they're assholes. When you're friends with the victim and their rapist, you're not a friend to either one of them. And you're siding with the rapist. But rape isn't the only type of abuse. There's physical abuse, sexual abuse, psychological abuse, emotional abuse, financial abuse. That's the one I'm most likely to encounter is financial abuse. We also get to see examples of this by my friends, by my family, and by the police. My predators got to do this repeatedly. Many of my friends and family members became my predators. They saw an opportunity to spend money. They didn't stop to listen to the person that they needed to be listening to. Hopefully, I'll make it all the way up to the park up here and not get messed with. Oh, I'm belching a bit. I did get myself biscuits and gravy for breakfast. I've had some coffee, so I'm calmed down a bit. Not necessarily good for helping me get to sleep anymore like it used to be. When I was a kid, drinking coffee put me right to sleep. And probably about, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, I stopped having that effect. Sometimes it still puts me to sleep, sometimes it don't. Park up here, I'm close enough to go to the lumberyard and get a piece of wood later if I want to. Although I think what I'm going to do is go up and get some of them sticks that I got in storage and tie them together and put some of that plastic film I got around it and go test it out. Alright, it's after 6 a.m. so I can park here. Just had to make sure. little spot on the grass right outside of my car. Looks like an alright place to go to sleep. Hopefully I don't get messed with too hardcore.